My name is Sacha. I'm from New York. My family are all from Spain, but I was born and raised in New York. And I've been painting for 38 years, since I was 15. And this show that we're showing here at KalWit has to do with circulism. Circulism is a special technique. It's actually a pencil technique where you make circles with the pencil or the color pencil, and you create actually a realistic drawing. But I took this technique and I used it on oil, on canvas. So what I do, I put the paint on the canvas, and then using toothpicks or nails, just a toothpick or this nail actually, with this I make circles and I mix all the colors on the painting. So for instance, this painting here, it's a small painting, but there's the details, there's actually texture. So I place the paint on with the brush, but then with the toothpick or the nail, I just make circles. More pressure, the whiteness of the canvas comes out. So for instance, I can paint this all black, and because the whiteness of the canvas is there in the background, when I scratch, the whiteness comes out and I can shade. So it's basically like a shading technique using the nail or the toothpick. So this is one painting. There's, some of the paintings here are new from 2019. There's a few from 2018. This particular one is from 2008, which I did in Spain, when I was living in Spain. As you can see, one thing is the technique and the other one is the style. I have a little bit of Picasso, in this case Modigliani, and also Matisse, and I do use the colors of Van Gogh. Here we have some horses. These are new. This one is actually only a week old. Again, I use the toothpicks and nails to paint. This one's from a few months ago. Again, horses. My style, my way of doing the horses. There's a lot of curves. I try to be the shape of the horse and everything. I just try to be simple, make it very simple. There's no rules in art, so basically when you're painting, you don't have to add every detail, the ears or anything. In this case, there's no ears here. This one, you don't see the hair over here. This one does have the eyes, but there's other paintings that I don't add the eyes, or sometimes I do. But I work a lot with color. So in this case here, there's only 3 colors. On the next one, this is a landscape actually, and when I was living in the Bronx in New York, it was something that I would see a lot, and I just made it a little bit more green and colorful. This is from 2010. This has never been shown before. It was a private collection of mine, and but I decided to show it and display it. It's actually yesterday at the opening was one of the favorites from a lot of the people. They actually like this one very much. So it's one of the newest paintings. These horses, you don't see any eyes. Again, it's done with the toothpicks and nails, and also I use colored pencils. So I do mix the colored pencils with the oil. So in this case over here, this is all white, and because I used the colored pencils by making circles, and I used the shading, the color will come out. So I use like a bluish and a purple color, and then I will go over it with the nail so you can see the texture of the circles. It's another one of horses. I've been doing a lot of horses lately because it's something that in Europe, in Spain, I sell a lot, and so I wanted to show something different. And I had 2 other paintings that I did of horses for the show, but I sold it on Facebook just before the show. These are more classical, very European. This is very easy, would be sold in Spain, in France, in Italy, Portugal, in Germany also. The colors, the tone, it's I happen to like these colors. These are probably my favorite colors when I paint. This is also I did a few weeks ago. It just finished. The idea of, I added the horses again, but actually this image right here is very Persian. So I'm going to start painting because I've been influenced by the Persian art lately, and so I'm going to be doing a series of paintings that has to do with the Persian artwork, especially from Persian carpet. These are, it's just very simple, family, has to do with family, man and a woman, and here, man and a woman and a child. I was influenced, to do these, I was influenced by Henry Moore, who's a sculptor, English sculptor. And his work, I guess he was very influenced by Picasso. So you do see a lot of Picasso in his work, but he is an excellent sculptor, and I sometimes steal from him. This one, again, the neck, a little bit of Modigliani in there. I have this painting, and also I did a larger piece of it, and but I wanted to do it a smaller piece. This one was actually sold just before the opening, a few hours before the opening, and it's one of the nicest pieces here also. This one is called the Suffering Bonsai. It took me, out of all the paintings that I've done, this took me the longest, 54 days, and working from 6 hours to 16 hours a day. It took me a lot of time because there's a lot of detail, there's a lot of leaves, a lot of small details, and there are times that you have to wait for it to dry to begin to work on it again. The bonsai is actually my arms put together, and then the rope, and the rope has these leaves coming out, but the rope goes around and comes down to a noose. That's why I call it suffering. Anything that has to do with suffering, I put the rope with the noose. There's other paintings that I've done like this. Is actually a series, and I'm going to start to do a big series on suffering for a big show for next year. This is a newer painting. Actually, both of them are from just a year or a year and a half ago. This is just a little bit of Picasso with shapes and everything, but it's a woman laying down. And this one, it has to do with the family. And in this case, I added only one eye to each one, but they're united somehow. This is also, I happen to like it a lot. It's very different. And I did get the idea from Henry Moore again also. Now this one, it has nothing to do with suffering, even though I did put the noose, and the rope and the noose on the bottom, part of the flower. But it actually has to do with, it's very simple. A lot of people look at it and they don't understand it, and they think the boy or the fetus is suffering, but he's not. I just happened to put the thing going around his neck, and he's holding it like that. It looks like he's suffering, but he's already dead. So it's actually a dead fetus. So it's actually saying death feeding life, because everything that dies feeds life. It's a circle.
Yes.
And again, circulism. So basically, that's all it's saying. It's death feeding life. And this one is just a still life. I do a lot of still life. I sell a lot of them. This is just a little bit larger. I had another one just like this, but with a guitar, and it was just sold about 6-7 months ago. But this one was actually part of my collection. I did not want to sell it, but I have so many paintings I have to sell. I don't want to be too attached to the painting. And that's what is happening. I'm getting too attached, and then I don't want to let it go. But I have to let it go because I have already in Spain just about 250 paintings in Spain. I have another 40 or 50 in New York. And then here I have another 50, 60. But here you can see there's more detail. Everything is with circles, okay? But then I just put more pressure and I made these other circles in there. Again, also, I did use pencil and color pencils to get some detail and small details in the areas, especially over here. And here with the drawings, these are some of my drawings, and I decided to show them. I never show my drawings, actually, here in Bangkok. Actually, there's two. That one there, if you want to go there. So this one is from the painting that I just did. So this is recent. It's called The Gift. So it's pretty much a sketch that I did for the painting. Sometimes, most of the time, I don't make a sketch for the painting. I just do it straight on the canvas. But sometimes I need to, it's hard for me to start to paint, so I need to do a drawing or something. Sometimes, like this one, is an exercise where I just take the pencil and I make circles like this, and then I'll start drawing, add a nose and then a mouth. I don't know what's happening, but it just ends up this way, This particular one is just, again, with the fetus. I do a lot of paintings with the fetus, but I decided to put the fetus in a pair, and there's a pair, the two people, so you have the pear of fruit, right? And then you have a pear, so I added like two heads and the baby. Again, this is like an exercise. With the pencil, I would just go around like this, and then I'll add the nose and then the mouth, and then eyes, and then I decide to do, I don't know what's happening, but since I did the painting of the bonsai, actually, I started using, I put these roots in some of my drawings and some of my other paintings. Same with this one. So it's a man actually here, and he's thinking of a woman. So it's called Desire. And I add the leaves also. Most of my paintings have some leaves or something going on. This one is a very good one, and I'm actually working on the painting now. But the painting is very big. It's about, I think, 180 by 140. And hopefully it will be done by the end of the month. These are two landscapes that I did in New York, actually, 2010. The gallery asked me if I had any landscapes. I sell pretty much all my landscapes, but I had these two, and so I brought them in for the show. Very simple, simple colors. Again, if you can see some of these colors, they're in the horses, but 9 years ago.